Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Manchester United 4, Aston Villa 2. Ooh, didn't always look like it was going to be easy. Wasn't easy by any means, but United, they fight back. They get a big 3 points. Not 3 points. They get a big win in the League Cup. Important victory over Unai Emery and his men after we got dusted over the weekend. So, big performance from a lot of lads. Rashford looked good. Garnacho looked top class. Bruno, once he moved into central position, he looked good. Martial got a goal. Sir, we move on from pace to pace. We got a big game on the weekend, but beating Unai Emery, that tasted sweet.
Look, tight turnaround from the weekend. It was a rough loss, and we come back with probably a second half, brave. We went down. We conceded. Obviously, you look at the tired legs in the back line. You got Magoo back there. He's good for a few. Magoo, always good for a few, sir. You get those huge 3 points against the top 10 Villa side in the EFL Cup. Let's go.
It's an important win. Like you said, we fought back from 2 deficits, came back from 1-0 down, came back from 2-1 down, and the team played well. And Erik ten Hag, he modified things in the game, right? Started off with that Fred, McTominay, Donny van de Beek midfield that did not work. That was disjointed in the first half. We couldn't get much going. We were sloppy with the ball. I don't know. Donny looks like he doesn't want to touch the ball. Looks like he's afraid of the ball. And then once we conceded in the second half, and got back into it, we started making some changes that really kind of changed the game around. Garnacho on the left, Rashford up front even looked pretty deadly and lethal, and it was a good performance. Good resiliency in the squad. Villa, they're a bunch of dirty bastards. They were under Stevie G too. They're kicking out, talking shit, McGinn. But either way, it was just nice to humble them a little bit after they beat us on the weekend. And I was really worried, when we went down first time or second time, that we were going to stumble into this World Cup break, which is still a possibility by every means, assuming how the Fulham game goes on Sunday. But ending with some momentum is important, and I think just building that mentality internally in this new squad of lads that are just kind of learning to fight together, those comeback wins, they mean a lot. I think you bank them. That is like part of what you can use later in the season because it builds resiliency in the team.
Yeah, and part of our analysis, if you will, the Muppet take from the couch against the Villa game in the EPL was we're lacking the goals. We're not going to be able to score 3 or 4 and come back and win it. And in this game, something's clicking. Tony Martial's back. Garnacho's feeling it. Rashford looking good. So, the big encouraging thing for us was, hey, we gave up 2 bad goals. Delo sleeping on both of those. You could argue Delo out of position with the quasi-handball. He's over there raising his arm, running to the play, not thinking about the danger. And obviously Magoo moving like an ocean liner, not thinking about the danger either. They get beat in. Easy first goal. Second one, falls asleep at the back post. Haven't seen that. He's tired. You got to give him a game off because he's just exhausted. But United defense leaking, but the attack bailing us out. And actually, you're excited to see that mojo flowing because that's exactly what we need going forward. We've been dying for goals. We need goals. Obviously, you got a cup keeper in there for Villa. He helped us out with 1. And you're hoping that this attack, this mojo, Martial can lead the line. We could feel it against Fulham and then go to the World Cup and cheer on the United States to win it all. Let's go.
We'll see about that, but it's a good point, getting the attack going. Defense, it's a work in progress. Some games have been solid. Our record in terms of conceding goals at Old Trafford up until that point was pretty decent. Obviously, that didn't last, but the defense is making inroads. Obviously, this game, we started with no Martinez in the back line. He came in a little bit later in the match, but we got some goals. Martial showing it, Rashford showing it, Bruno, Garnacho, Eriksen looked class when he came in. And we just had a little bit more pep in our step. Even the first half when we didn't play well and that midfield was not working, and Erik ten Hag recognized that midfield was not working. Poor Donny van de Beek, bro. Where are you selling him? Because I'll tell you what, he can't make it in the league. He's got to go back to Netherlands somewhere. Well, sorry, you're talking about Donny van de Beek right now? You think he can play for Manchester United? You think he can get in Villa side?
I'm
Probably
just saying,
not.
sir. Guy's he's a nice guy.
I'm rooting for Donny van de Beek, but it's pretty obvious he ain't gonna make
waffles,
it. So that window, that'd be a famous window in this club's history. The the Donny, Facundo, Ahmad window. We did get Cavani. That worked out for at least a season. But we'll see what happens there. But either way, Fulham game's going to be a big one. And then everyone's going to have different kind of experiences with the World Cup. Some players are going to be leaned on a lot and going to play a lot of games, i.e. Martinez, right? You think he'd be a starter. Obviously, Eriksson, he's going to be a starter. Harry Maguire, will he be a starter?
Cup,
we'll see.
Dude, that's like the great hope for the United States. Is
Harry Magoo just
Harry
then you have
Magoo.
Marcus just ripping you up. And by the way, I looked at that Wales
Marcus
squad.
ain't
It's
starting.
pretty good.
No,
That
it's
Wales
not
squad,
that
they're a tough squad.
So we're going to come out, clap them. Don't worry about it. United States.
With our
come
manager
on.
going for a pre-match run in the 95-degree heat.
So, when the player's on the field and that national anthem plays, ain't no manager doing nothing. Those players are ready to go. So it's like at the end of the day, it comes down to that. And Wales is going to be ready to go. We're going to be ready to go. And it's going to go toe-to-toe. It's happening like literally so soon. I can't wait. It's like 10 days away. This is it. So, like, we got Fulham, and then it's the World Cup. And obviously, we're all in on the United States men's national team. This is the American Red Devils. As far as England goes,
We're going.
wish we weren't in the same group as you guys. For all the English listeners, last time we played, we drew you, and we got out of the group. So at the end of the day, hopefully we can improve, beat you, get out of the group, and then move on to the knockout stages, which will be absolutely insane. But quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils, we are for fans, by fans. We do it early here, 6 a.m. pods on Friday. Got a lot of commitments, jobs, family, everything. We need your support because we're a small-time operation. We don't take ad dollars. We've literally turned them away. We think it breaks up the pod. And we want you guys to support us directly. We have a ton of benefits on our Patreon, so check it out, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. We do a behind-the-scenes episode every single month. Please check it out, support us. Also check out our website, AmericanRedDevils.com. We have great fan-generated blog content. We want to get that biased fan take out there. That is our goal. That is the mission statement. And also, if you want to support us in another way, you can buy our merchandise, scarves, hoodies, beanies. Alex is wearing in the bunker. It's freezing. Check it out, AmericanRedDevils.store. And tell them about reviews, like, subscribe, all that stuff helps a lot.
There are great ways to support the American Red Devils pod without joining our Patreon, without buying some of our top-class merch, is you can write 5-star reviews. It's a great way to help us get found organically. We get found by other great fans like yourself. And even better, we're giving a free giveaway from now until the end of times. All you have to do is write a 5-star review wherever you listen to the American Red Devils podcast and send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Send it straight to your door anywhere in the world. We're still doing it, so keep those reviews coming. We got a good one hot off the presses from W Park W 5-star. Drop that beat. The only way I can listen to Hans and Franz Europa League theme is when John and Alex masterfully engineer an off-time drop during a pregnant pause in the banter on the plight of Manchester United against the Saucy Daddies and other teams we've never heard about. I salute these Muppets who, at the risk of their sleep and marriages, reliably deliver insight, match reviews, New Jersey takes on upcoming ties, and cheeky analysis of topical news with their inventive pronunciations and hilarious nicknames for players and managers. The American Red Devils podcast is my number one source by a mile for all my Manchester United club information and updates. Glory, glory, Man United. Hashtag Laters is out. Fuck it, we do it live. Thank you for the great review. Write 5-star reviews.
The F-bomb was not in the review.
I added it. Let's go, baby. 6:30. We do it live.
It's like terms and conditions apply. Please check out more details.
Tell us about Villa.
All right, sir. Well, that's right. Breaking it down, Manchester United 4, Aston Villa 2, Old Trafford. It is the EFL Cup. Let's get into that lineup. Dubravka. He ain't world number nothing. In net. Molisi at left back. Maguire, Lindelof center back pairing. Boy, he's back, baby. Harry Magoo. Delo at right back. Fred McTominay. Speaking of back, that is back. And then Donny Van de Beek. Where is Erik ten Hag getting the cojones to start this guy every game?
3 games in a row.
Marcus Rashford on the left. Martial, number 9. Bruno on the right. Question marks all over this. He had to rotate. EFL Cup gets like the biggest FU rotation.
Did he rotate?
Europa League does not.
Nope. Europa League's a priority.
Like, this team is what he should have played in Sociedad. and this is where my criticism comes from, is like, how is this not the Sociedad team to then rest everyone to win the league game against Villa, then rotate for this game?
Well, bank that win. What do you think of this 11, sir? More importantly, I don't disagree, but we can't change what happened.
Donnie is nowhere near. Dubrovka, I don't mind the rotation. Bruno on the right makes no sense. So it's like you got to play Bruno in this position, and then you got to bring someone else on the right to put Elanga in there. That's really my criticism. Maguire, Lindelof is what it is. You gotta rotate, and I'm fine with that. But the Donnie, he's out of form. He's not playing well.
You don't like Donnie? You don't like Donnie?
Like, honestly, put Bruno in the hole and put Facundo on the right.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or Elanga.
You know, like get someone else in there. Like, why not put Facundo in?
He's giving him a run out. You know, that was what kind of caught my eye. I'm glad Martinez got a blow. I'm glad that Shaw got a blow. I'm glad that Casemiro got a blow. I agree. Fernandez on the right. That doesn't really work. He's so good at 10. He's not a right winger. And the Donny Van de Beek one was surprising because he got like overrun against Villa on Sunday. But he's getting 3 runs. I appreciate what he's trying to do, which is to give him a run of games. But if this is the litmus test, those 3 games, he has not lived up to it.
But this is the team that Ten Hag, I'm like proud of him for putting it out here. Didn't look horrible, right? And had to make some adjustments. But this is the type of like, I can rotate and get big players a blow. And this is what I think we should have done in Europa League. A little more. That's it, sir. Just a little.
No, I don't disagree at all, sir. I think the San Sebastian game, it didn't work out the way we wanted. We got a win, but didn't get the result that we needed with the 2 goals. And players were tired for the Villa game, and that's probably one of the reasons we lost. Underestimated the new manager bounce as well. I think that was a really good take from the last pod. But I don't disagree, sir. He's learned on the job. I think he managed the game today very well.
Exactly. That's the whole point. He managed today very well, and there was a lot to manage. Let's get into that first half. Game starts super cagey. United not sharp. Villa pressing high like we've seen. 18th minute, Bruno scores, but Rashford's way off in the build-up. Fred put a great ball in. Fred actually put a few good balls in. They did not yield the goals, but he was playing well in the midfield. 24th minute, Malacia, great ball for Delo, but header goes over. He's young left back we purchased for nothing. Looks very promising, dangerous, and a great option for rotation. You'd love to see the same right back.
I thought he was terrific today. I thought Malacia offered a lot going forward. I thought he was putting really good balls into the channel. I thought he was pressing forward. He had good physicality, right? Villa, they're a strong side. They're a cheeky side, right? They lean into those tackles, and I think he really held his own, and he's done his job. What's the most important job is he's like ignited Luke Shaw to go from meat pie Luke Shaw to impossible meat pie Luke Shaw. He's like slimmed down, and dude, I mean, Luke Shaw is playing top form at the moment. Looks just like a fullback, in your kind of football, sir. Football, like,
football.
Tank.
31st minute, McTominay clears the line from a corner, and we go into halftime. Not a great half, honestly. How are you feeling?
No, I totally agree. The energy level was definitely better than when we played at Villa Park, just because they were winning every 50-50 ball early in that game. But like the midfield was super disjointed. Bruno couldn't get it going on the right. Donnie looked like he was afraid of the ball, didn't want anything near it. I think he had like 6 touches in the first half.
Guy hates Donnie. Jeez.
You want to ask how the first half
hard
went?
at Donnie all
Fred
day.
and McTominay, they were a little scratchy, but ultimately, adjustments were made, and the game also forced our hand around adjustments because it started hot. In the second half.
Sir Donnie called. He's like, he's crying over here. You're just absolutely killing the guy.
Welcome to the American Red Devils.
Second half starts hot. Here we go. 47th minute.
Well, Manchester United, as they prefer to do, attacking the Stretford end to the left in the second half. But this is Watkins for Villa, with a chance and with a supremely well-taken goal. Against the overall run of the play, but Villa have grown into this tie. And didn't Watkins finish it with aplomb?
Oh, and Unai Emery wants so much of this team and to be about where they are.
Commentary. Get that commentary going. How was that?
In this goal, there's a few things here, and we got the video pause. You can't see it. I'm gonna John Madden this one. It's kind of a weird Fred. It's like a Fred lose the ball situation. Really bad place to lose the ball. If you watch Ollie Watkins here, he's on the back shoulder of Maguire. Delo before the play is kind of, as the turnover happens, Delo is running towards it and raising his arm, kind of complaining to the ref that's a handball. And then as soon as it turns on a dime, he's out of position. Yeah. So it's almost like when the ball was lost, Delo wasn't trying to get back in line. He was actually running to the play and then shouting to the ref. And then by that point, Ollie Watkins is on the back shoulder, Maguire just ready to go.
Flat-footed.
And then once Maguire's in that position, go all day. And this is why Harry Maguire is the fourth center back. And hopefully Chelsea apparently wants to buy him again.
Again?
So we got to sell him.
Sell him.
And this is where the crime is, because the crime is Chelsea wanted to buy him this summer. We did not sell him. And then now we want to sell him after 6 months. And
Chelsea still want to buy him?
In this situation, this is why, as a United States men's national team fan, this is how we could literally pip England, is literally this dude. Because it's like he's not paying attention. He has to be so far off of where the attackers are if he's that high. And all he walks, you see him just like that, that run. Can't catch him.
He's caught flat-footed, caught out of position. It's been too much of that this season. And like you said, Harry Maguire, I just don't think he's going to make it work at Manchester United. The crown's too heavy, especially as captain. He played a little bit better in the second half, later in this half, but this is not great because, like you said, he's slow, gets caught out, and then can never catch up.
And also, Dubravka could have done better as well. I felt like he was laid off the line with this one. I feel like just if he kind of went all in, could have gotten there before it got dangerous. And by the time he did come off the line, he was in no man's land, did get a piece of it. But you're looking at errors, like defensive errors leading to goals. And you like Delo making an error. You like the center back be able to bail him out, like a Varane can recover there. I think that's the point. The Varane can recover, and that's not a guaranteed goal with Varane or Martinez.
Totally.
And with Magoo, you're looking at that because he's getting beat up. 49th minute, sir. We would clap back here for Manchester United.
And we know with the nuance of the new handball laws, I'm not sure that would have been brought back.
Meanwhile, at the other end, a chance for an immediate equaliser. Martial 1-1. Where did that come from? 2 goals in barely a minute, and this game has burst into life.
So what do you need? You've got to come off an angle.
50 million down the drain. Tony Marshall scores again.
Oh, sir, it feels good to sing that song. Tony Marshall, back from injury, he can score a goal. And what a goal at that. He's got the gloves on. It's going in. Bruno Fernandes, a lot to do. There's a lot to do for Bruno. Getting that ball across the line, barely did it, and ice cold finish from Tony. We're back in it 1-1. What happens when you get back in it?
It took a little while.
What happens when you get back in it?
Shout out to the play. Shout out to the play. Delo, the great ball over the top. Bruno makes the run. Like you said, he's still got quite a bit to do. First time ball in, and Martial, cool as you like. God damn, stay fit. I hope he just gets Yoke City during the break, and he's just working out and staying fit and getting ready for December.
61st minute, Ashley Young.
All the way to the back post. And Villa have their lead back via Dallo. It was Bailey that nodded it across the face. Substitutions pay off almost immediately.
We've seen this movie before.
Everything about this for Aston Villa is yes.
This is something that happened all the time last year, and it happened to this man, Delo, and it hasn't happened a lot this year. If you look at Ashley Young putting in the ball for this cross here, love Ashley Young. Delo switched off at the back post. And then the header comes back and he puts in the net. So, that's double time.
Yeah, his goalie's not doing him any favors. Lindelof didn't do him any favor by...
That's his man.
Throwing your hands. Sir, I agree.
It's his
man.
man.
Let me finish what I was going to say before you throw up your hands and react.
What was Lindelof going to do then?
Well, Lindelof didn't close down his man because he just kept backing up. But Delo has been excellent this season. He's arguably been the most improved player from the existing squad. Maybe Rashford has a sniff at that as well. And wasn't his best performance going back, where he has looked very resolute, gotten much better on the defensive side of the game, and gives up a shit goal, an OG. That happens. But United, what kind of fight do they show? They fight back. And who fights back? Eric Ten Hag with big subs right after they gave up this goal.
No, and the only reason I'm pointing to it is to say, hey, he's tired.
Yes,
when you're tired, you make mistakes. This is a good player that hasn't gotten a rest because we don't have another right back. Well, we do have another right back, but for good reason or not, I don't know. Ten Hag does not want to play him. But could Wan-Bissaka play the EFL Cup?
Yep.
But according to Ten Hag, no. And when you're tired, you're going to make mistakes. And he made some, I would say last time we played Villa, we conceded 3. We made mistakes. That led to goals. Martinez tired, made mistakes. Delo's tired here. We're making mistakes. We're almost there for the World Cup. Players are going to get hopefully some rest. Delo probably won't, but again, we got to just get to the end, get to the finish line before this big break and see what comes out of it. And all I'm trying to do is saying, I think these mistakes are being made because he's tired and we need a right back. That's the point. It's not Delo ain't good. It's not like I'm not killing them like you're killing Donnie here.
Again,
to be clear,
Delo, you kill Harry Maguire every
sorry,
time.
a quarter Portuguese.
Licks his lips. Just laying
I'm a quarter Portuguese.
And
my grandmother comes from the Azores Islands,
Very
or
good.
direct there. It's like
Azores. Very good. Sorry. We know. Well, what about Donnie? You don't like Donnie? I'm fucking with you.
So my wife's tired. My wife's Dutch. My wife's Dutch, but Donnie's
reaching. Really? Yeah. Okay. He has been tired. He needs a right back cover, right? I agree. I think AWB, I don't know if it's been injuries or just literally Eric Ten Hag doesn't rate him at all. It could be a combination of both, but I don't know if it's this game or a game sometime in the last 10 games where he could have gotten some minutes, but he hasn't, and I agree. He looked tired defensively, but he also had that great ball in for the Martial goal.
No, of course, he's got the game going forward. Is the game.
No, but he's tired.
But he's
getting the weekend off. Because he has the accumulation of yellow cards. And the real question is, does he start for this Portugal side? He might. I don't know the right back cover. They Cancelo right on the left side, but
I think he does.
He probably starts.
But 62nd minute, you got to comment on the defense. That's what I'm trying to say. It's these are good things as a defense because it's just simple mistakes. And that's just concentration. You clean those up. We're good. Obviously, you get Magoo out of the team, then you clean it up.
Then you're good.
How he's going on to the England World Cup, I have no idea. He's selected by Southgate. Doesn't play. He's horrible. And Southgate backs the man. He'll start. He'll literally start first game against Iran. 62nd minute, triple sub. Eriksen, Elanga, Garnacho for Fred, Donnie, and Martial. Look, good change from the manager here.
Change the game.
Absolutely changed the game. 64th minute, Rashford goes just wide, and in the 67th.
Villa leading through a Dalot own goal, but this is Eriksen. Here comes Rashford. Still Rashford, keeping his feet and making it to a piece.
Huge goal for Marcus Rashford. Tons to do in that situation. Eriksen with a great run. Great bounce. Mings falling on the floor. Rashford backing his man off the ball and then finishing. A lot to do for Marcus. Not the prettiest goal, but, he made it happen. That's a clinical finish. Looking, playing centrally, scoring. Like it.
He looks like a player who deserves some minutes for the England side, at least on the left, and I think he'll get them. But you'd love to see it because we've been very critical of Marcus Rashford playing through the middle. He's playing up front after the subs as Garnacho went out left, and he showed really good pace. He made good runs. This physical, he pressed off his defenders and does enough to get the goal in. And we just see more of that. Fast feet, but also the composure to not just blast it. And that was really great to see because Marcus, top player, back in form, feeling it under this new manager, and I hope he has a really good World Cup. Other than against us, which he might. Because you imagine what he'd do to, who's that guy, Aaron Long?
I hope he doesn't play at all and rest the entire time. 76th minute, Bruno with a great snapshot in the box, forces the keeper into a great save. And then obviously, 78th minute, we would take the lead here. Manchester United surging back.
It's League One derby. Fourth round draw to follow this game. Garnacho. Another chance, another goal. And it's turning into Bruno Fernandes night as Manchester United lead in this tie for the first time.
Coffees for closers. The keeper rattled, gives the ball away. But you know what? Garnacho, Bruno finds the net. I felt like, where Mings's blocks were going in against us in that 3-1 game, this one goes in the net. That's just how it was written. United surging back 3-2. You love to see it. Casemiro subbed in the 82nd. Martinez for Lindelof in the 87th. McTominay hits the bar in the 89th. And Scotty McSauce. Garnacho to Scotty McSauce. Let's go.
They require a goal to take it to penalties. Manchester United just need to keep their heads. And now they've sealed it with Scott McTominay. Denied moments before by the crossbar. Bang on target there with a moment of great opportunism.
What a ball by Garnacho off the left. What a absolute killer pass. Opens up the defense. Scotty puts it in. What do you make?
It's an incredible ball from Alejandro Garnacho. It's a class ball. I was like, is that Eriksson? It floated, it hung, and it whipped back down right at the right time. Shout out to McTominay. He used to be a striker and then got moved into midfield. Our poor man's Holland, anyone? Put him up front when you're in a pinch and you got no one else to play there. The standout today was Garnacho. It was an unbelievable performance. He is, unfortunately, what we were hoping for with Jadon Sancho. He's just has no fear. He was taking on defenders. As soon as he came on the left wing, he was terrorizing that Villa back line, sir. They look shook. He almost had a good goal at some point in the last 20 minutes of the game, and that ball is for people who are years older than he is. 18-year-olds should not be putting in balls that pretty.
I felt like post-scoring the goal, Scotty McTominay should have pointed at Garnacho to be like, yo, bro, that was a sick pass. He takes the limelight. Yeah. It's like you're the youngster. You got to share the love. I felt like a little selfish.
Everybody knows Garnacho made it.
But you got to see this. I mean, the celebration.
He pulled his hand. He got like a cramp while he's
celebrating. You got to give the kid, give the kid the credit. Scotty McSauce, to be fair, scoring for the Stretford Net, and I probably wouldn't point either. But let's go to the stats line.
First thing you think of is shout out to the guy who gave me the ball.
It's a gentleman. It's a gentleman's sport, sir. This is the scoreline. This is the difference. We exactly had 59% of the ball last time we played them in the 3-1 defeat. We had 19 shots there, 8 shots on target there, 2. And they had more shots on target than we did in the 3-1 defeat. Our attack was lively. We were direct. We were getting at them. Obviously, conceded 2, which you don't like to see. Conceded 5 in Villa, in the scope of 5 days. But at the end of the day, we're on to the next round. And a little stat here, at 18 years and 133 days old, like people are counting, Garnacho becomes the youngest player to assist 2 goals in a game for Manchester United. What a player coming off that left side.
What a player. It's just great to see, exciting to see. And we need options all over the wings. So he is a player that is going to the World Cup with Argentina. Whether or not how much he'll feature, we will see. But playing with Messi is never a bad look. And you know what? Facundo, Ahmad, neither of those are going to work out. But hey, if you get an academy lad that breaks on through, that's all you could ever hope for, because he looks the real deal. The real deal, and Erik ten Hag, he managed it perfectly, because getting ahead of that when there's some discipline issues is important, because if you don't nip that shit in the bud when he's 18, then you're going to, it snowballs. So well done on Erik ten Hag.
Well done for Erik ten Hag. Setting the tone. Speaking of setting the tone, let's hear from our manager.
I know he didn't score, but could you just sum up Garnacho's performance tonight? Because he enthused the crowd and he seemed to get everybody going.
I think it was good that he also, when he come on, that he show performance, that he has an impact in the game. Quite clear with two assists, some good dribbles, runs behind, but also some things what he has to improve. For instance, And when we go for a long ball, don't go into the header with Scott McTominay, and go for second ball. So he has things to learn, but it's quite obvious. We are really happy with his development, with his performance tonight, and he can contribute to this team.
Do you think he can be a regular player? He's very, very young. This club's had a lot of good wide players, exciting wide players. Fans love to see that. Can he make a big contribution this season?
It depends on how his approach, how his attitude. When he keeps working, keep this attitude, then it's possible. That he keeps in attitude, he wants to improve every day. When he's doing the right things in his lifestyle, then it's possible. Because you see, he has capabilities and what contributes to attacking football. And also he has something, he can break open a really compact defending line. And I think all teams who want to attack, who wants to play in opponent's half, they need players like them. You can outplay them. And also in the final decisions, he can do the right things. So, but once again, it depends on how's his attitude. Can he also do the defending stuff in the discipline? When he can do that,
And the discipline, it's all about the discipline for our main man, Erik ten Hag. Hey, we're on to the next one in another cup competition. Who can't love that?
It's what you want to see. You know, we talked about managing the squad, rotation, people getting rest. There's a little bit of that, probably not enough of it. Like you said, Delo's going to get a rest this weekend because he has the accumulation of yellow cards, so he'll get a game off. But the manager going stride by stride, and this is an opportunity to pick up silverware that last time we won it was done under Mourinho. We already got the draw. We're playing Burnley at home in the next round, which is a decent draw considering that City's playing the Scousers, I believe. So we avoid one of those two if we move on. And, you know, depending on when it lands in the calendar, and, you know, we got the Barcelona match, of course. I don't know if we talked about that, sir. Us drawing Barcelona, which was a riot. But either way, it's an important win. It's an important scalp over Unai Emery because he was celebrating when they got that second goal, and he was celebrating when they got that first goal.
Well,
that
he
feels good. That
don't bring him up on this
feels
pod.
good. This guy, you got like PTSD, like he like stole your girl, bro. Crazy. I'll tell you what,
Stole the trophy,
I
the
am aware.
only trophy we should have
I'm
like
aware.
a late. Like this
I'm
guy
aware.
loves Europa League. Like
I love it.
no, but you're like
love
it's a
Hazard.
competition we can win. It's like, and then it's like we go to the
you
final.
go to the final,
and
you
get
should
the
win it.
easiest team.
Yes.
Like you can't have an easier final. Like you could go through Manchester United's history. I'm sure we have easier finals, but like in the last 5 years, if you're gonna get, we had to beat an Ajax side on the rise. Like, you remember when we beat Ajax in the Europa League final with Mourinho? That was like we should have lost going in that game. That was like a Mourinho doing more than some of the parts.
He's a good manager. In that
Henrik
kind of
Mkhitaryan, our midfielder mania. You remember, it's like
scorpion kick.
I know. It's unbelievable. Look, we got a next match. It ain't Europa League. It is Fulham versus Manchester United, Craven Cottage. If you wonder why it's called Craven Cottage, I've been there, and it's like, you can't believe it, but they got a cottage
there
on stilts in the stadium. The owner sits in an actual cottage. Don't know how or why it got in there, but it is in there. If I owned the team, probably would take it out. But, you know, I don't. The game is Sunday, November 13th, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. As far as a cottage being in the stadium, only in England.
I mean, it's a great stadium. Great stadium. Old stadium. It's in southwest London, a bougie part of London, just tucked next to the river. We saw them play before they were in the league, before they yo-yoed a couple times. Ipswich Town, I believe, sir.
We played Ipswich with Mick McCarty. We had like the best seats in the house. We were sitting next to the Ipswich youth team. That's how good our seats were. We're on like the third row, right next to the bench. That was a championship. Then we went back. Manchester United played them away. Unbelievable game. I think we won
the wheel.
4-2.
That was right before
PSG
game.
Yep. And Fulham, they have been a little frisky this season, so we're hoping to beat them again. Lifetime versus Fulham, we won 52, drawn 20, only lost 14. First time we played them, drew 2-2 in the FA Cup. Last 5 against Fulham, drawn 2, won 3. Fulham's form coming to this game, they lost to City, drew Everton, beat Leeds, beat Aston Villa again. The top 10 Villa side,
Stevie
Alex
G,
so
that was
famously
Stevie G.
claimed.
Yeah,
The
you
top
want-
10 Villa
Take
side.
that bet. You're still talking a lot of
Beat
shit. You want to take that
Fulham.
bet? I'll bet you right now, bro, on the pod live, and they finish the top 10.
They got beat by Fulham 3-0.
With Stevie G in a red card, bro.
Look, this guy, a big defender.
I'm
of
just
Aston
saying
Villa.
there. Get the fuck out of here. Keep going, bro. Tied Bournemouth.
They're
and
forever
lost
top
to
10
West-
Villa side. If they're in 18th
Forever. You
place,
say one,
if they're in a relegation fight, top 10 Villa side.
They finish the top 10,
that's
bro.
never
They finish
leaving
the
the
top
pod.
10.
So you know when you say it, it's not going anywhere.
guy, he picks on
Little
it.
history, little history
go.
on
Go ahead.
Aston Villa. Founded in 1879, they are one of the top 10 oldest football clubs in
10.
England.
Top 10. Top
The
10.
club has spent 27 seasons in English football's top division, the majority of which have come during the 1960s and 2000s. They've recently been purchased by Mohammed Al Fayed, who also owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. After the club, it climbed up from the 4th tier in the 1990s. Fulham reached 2 major finals, one in 1975 where they lost 2-0 against West Ham in the FA Cup, and then they played in the 2010 Atletico Madrid UEFA Europa League final, losing 2-1 in extra time. Dempsey was on that team in 2010. Obviously, they haven't come up good in finals, but Tim Ream does play for Fulham now. He does play for the United States men's national team and will feature in the World Cup. Fulham main rivals are with Chelsea and West London, like you mentioned, in QPR and Brentford. Fulham's a team I got a special place for, mainly because Dempsey coming up in the game. They've always liked to sign American players. It seems like Leeds has taken that baton, but we can't like Leeds, so Fulham does have a little, You look at the stadium; it's a very classical English stadium, old school English
Super unique.
stadium. It's very unique, and obviously it's a London team, so they're not playing too great. But they do have Andres Pereira,
Top
former
10,
Manchester
sir.
United
They're
player.
top 10, 9th place.
I play the 4-2-3-1, and look, all we need to do is this is how it goes. You just got to beat them.
That's it. They're on the up.
You
They're
play to win the game. You just got to beat them, sir.
They're a frisky side. I agree with you. It's one of the stadiums, the teams from a neutral perspective that I like just because their stadium is so cool. They have that West End that they just redid where you basically go out and have a pint at halftime and you're on the river. And it's a nice part of London. But that being said, I hope we humble them down in the cottage. So the cottage in the corner apparently was so players had a place to change at the turn of the century after they built the actual stadium. I think the owner also lived there at some point. But big match for us. We need to get 3 points. Andres Pereira, he's playing a good form. They got Willian. They got Ream, like you said, the 35-year-old defender who's going to Qatar. A. Robinson, is he American or is that a different A. Robinson?
Yeah, he's American as well.
There you
Top
go.
10 left back in
Top
England
10.
there.
Top 10 suck my
Injury list.
top 10.
Injury list for
God.
Manchester United. Below 5 yellow cards for Ron. He's trying to get to the World Cup. And conspiracy theory said the same thing with Anthony. He's in the Brazil World Cup side. He ain't not going to feature.
No, he's done.
This is part of it where you have a little knock. You're going to not play before the World Cup because the World Cup is a special event. Jadon Sancho, he's sick, and he's not going to the World Cup. Brandon Williams, whereas AWB is healthy but not featuring, and Twanzebe as well. And the Brandon Williams just kind of, Eric Den Haag banished him type of treatment here. Given those injuries, what's your lineup?
I got De Gea back in net, world number 1. I'm going to do Malacia as my right back. I'm going to do Lindelof, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksson. I am going to play Garnacho on the left. Hold on. I'm going to play Martial up front. I'm going to play Garnacho and Rashford as the wingers, and they're going to switch. So that's my cheap out. What do you got?
Dave says world number 1 in net. I'm going to say you get Luke Shaw, You're going to see Lindelof, Martinez. I'm going to go Delo. You got to Delo's it. What? Oh, you're right. Damn. What are we going to do?
Malacia, right back. He plays at right back too.
Okay. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez, Shaw. You're going to get Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksson. I think you go Rashford, Alonga, Garnacho. I think it's pretty straightforward there. Yeah, what are you going to do? What you gonna
I mean, he could do. We did it once, and it did not work. The Lindelof right back. That is
we
a
need a
mistake.
right back. Hello,
Yeah,
you
we need a right
listening?
back. We need a right back.
Hey, Lebowski.
Hey, yeah,
hey,
listen,
Murtaugh.
where's the money? Where's the money,
Yeah,
Lebowski?
exactly. Get us a left. What the book?
We're ahead of schedule. We're ahead of schedule. Fulham are the underdogs, plus 290 at home. The draw at plus 280, and United the favorites, minus 115. Given that are the odds, what is your score prediction, sir?
3-0 Manchester United. Go away, Fulham. An easy place to win. Let's go.
I like that 2-0, clean sheet, controlled, composed. Martial, he gets his goal. Rashford, he gets his goal. Onto the World Cup. Let's go.
It's an
Noobs.
important spot. It's an important spot for Manchester United. Anytime you're closing out a period of fixtures where there's going to be international break, ending on a high, I think, is critical, especially ending on a high in the league after the Villa kind of slip on the banana peel a little bit. So we got to get back, finish strong. I think if you beat Fulham, we're in a great spot coming out.
We are.
And obviously, nobody knows who's going to start, how much time, how deep they're going to go in the tournament. So you're kind of rolling the dice a little bit, but you got to finish strong on a positive note so that we can go into the World Cup.
Preach, sir, preach. Big game coming up this weekend.
You don't want to be sitting thinking of United in a salty loss for 6 weeks.
Like thumped by Fulham? Yeah, that would be good for anybody.
United in the news. Lots of news, sir. Liverpool for sale. FSG wants out. You know what? They just realized how scummy, slimy, and dirty that team is. They want nothing to do with it.
Oh, they're cashing out, baby.
They went out.
That's not even.
They realized. They just said, "Oh my God, this is one of the worst clubs with the worst fan bases ever. We want to sell it. Can't have it."
Carragher won't stop hanging around the hoop. You know, goddamn Scouse fans. Anfield's a dump. No, they're looking to cash out because the game has gotten even more competitive. You got the top 10 villas of the world. They got big money spenders. You got fucking Newcastle, obviously, perennial spenders in Manchester City. And there just seems to be more and more of that. Not a lot. And then you bring in like the well-run Brightons of the world that are, have better front offices than the mighty Manchester United does. It makes sense. They actually bought it for $300 million or something preposterous when Liverpool was just in the dumps, and they're going to get a good return. They're probably going to 10x their money.
Sir, you got to know when to hold them.
Know when to fold.
Know when to fold them.
It's a good time to sell.
Know
Liverpool.
when to walk
I'll tell you
away.
what, it's a good time to
Know
sell.
when to run. And guess what? Now is the time to sell. And the fact that Liverpool is going to sell is, it's like this shores up United not selling.
Yep.
Smart move, good owners, and here's the difference between FSG and the Glazers. FSG is a private equity fund that makes money. They
Actually makes money for
make
people.
a return for their investors. They are professionals at it. They are smart. They, like anyone can see, bought this team, gonna like 10 exit, gonna exit, great exit. Like, they're not holding on to it out of spite. They're not holding on to it out of pride.
No dividends.
They're looking at where the league is going, and if you take a 10-year projection of where this league is headed, you look at Everton with the big money, back in Everton. You look at Villa with the big money. You look at Newcastle with the big money. You look at City with the big money. And this is big money that knows no bounds, knows no losses. And Liverpool is a team that has done a great job, invested wisely, and they see where it's headed. And guess what? If you don't have that big pocket owner, you're screwed. You're screwed. And this is why they went out, and they're going to get a huge price. It is a smart time to start a process. And like I said, if you're going to sell a club, you're going to hire Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and you're going to start a process, and that process will be heard. You will hear it. So if Manchester United is for sale, you will hear it. FSG, Liverpool's for sale, you heard it. Manchester United, crickets, nothing. Now, why isn't Manchester United for sale? Because it is a trust fund for kids who don't know what they're doing. Their dad, really smart guy, really great investor. The kids, they disagree. They all own equal share. Apparently, some want to sell. Joel Glazer, Avram Glazer don't. They think they're smarter than they are.
They're not smart.
They do not have the cash reserves. They need something to. They were trying to sell a minority stake. They don't want to give up control. It's like a spite thing for them. And seeing FSG put their club on the block just adds competition in the marketplace. How many buyers are there realistically anyway at the $6-7 billion price point? And most likely what the Glazers will do is they're just going to be entrenched in their position, demand an insane price that can never be met because they're not savvy business people. They don't know what they're doing. Like their dad did. Now the kids run it. They don't know what they're doing. And they're going to put an insane price. It won't sell, and then they're going to be screwed, and the club will be screwed, and we're going to have to sell TV rights and Maui Gym Stadium and backpedaling during a recession and all this stuff, and you're going to see them. You're going to see spoiled kids make a bad decision with like a world-class asset, and you're seeing it live. You can look at the balance sheet. You can see they like need $1 billion. They need $1 billion of cash. They have taken $1 billion out. There's that money that you need now. So if you take all this money out of this asset and you don't invest in it, and you keep putting debt on it, over time, it's going to be like FTX, bro. It's like eventually you're going to need money, and like they need it, and they can sell it, but people aren't going to come in for minority stake because they know that they're shit at their jobs, so they only want majority. And now you got FSG selling, and if they sell for a pretty ticket, and then United don't sell, it's like they should be selling the club. The fact that they're not, it's just like mind-blowing.
Well, they don't answer to anybody, right? Like FSG has LPs who invest in the fund, and they probably have a certain say around like, hey, we've gotten a good return out of this. The competitive market is getting, tighter. We should maybe sell our asset and realize our gain. They just care about taking as much cash away from this asset as possible. Manchester United, they see more fat on the pig, sir. Like they see the naming rights of the stadium. They see selling our future revenue streams are around the TV
Super
rights,
League, and they think the Super League.
They want to bring the Super League back. So that's the difference. You summed it up pretty well. It's like Glazers are just like they're just like the less intelligent product of their smart father, and now their dumb kids are all running it.
Their play has to be their view.
Who's going to buy Liverpool?
Because they own an NFL team. So the NFL, the way the NFL is run is, but like. They're thinking that like the only play that they could be thinking about is that eventually EPL will be like the NFL, or it'd be like there's teams, there's no relegation, you're guaranteed just boatloads of cash every year. There's salary caps so that like like with an NFL team, you know how much money you're going to make for the next 10 years, and you know how much you have to pay your players for the next 10 years. And in England, you do not know any of that, and it's actually like speculative investment. And it's not stable, and I bet you they're waiting for somehow some Super League or something like crazy to happen where like their investment just clicks and just becomes like even more of a cash cow because they just eliminate that whole like competition thing that has made like European football like the top draw
of anything.
So Glazers out all day. This is concerning as fans who want them out. FSG. If Chelsea getting sold for $4 billion doesn't turn their head to sell, like that's the moment. Like that's why FSG is going to sell. Yep. They saw that exit and they're like, we're a better run team because Chelsea's just basically they were funded by a Russian billionaire. And now they don't have any money, and it's going to be a really interesting to see how that situation plays out. But FSG is like looking at that and being like, that is a hell of a valuation. We could get 5, and we're going to go. And now they're going. And United isn't, and that's really concerning because there are people who want to buy United, and if Chelsea sold for a lot and people want to buy you and you're not selling, what are you doing? And the answer is running into the ground, and it's a tough one to take for Manchester United fans. Honestly, it's sad to see. Speaking of sad to see, Ronaldo gone in January. Manchester United expect it. He's close to leaving this summer. Apparently, everyone's in agreement. It's time for him to go, and even I agree.
Number one Muppet, Big John agrees. I'm glad you agree because it is time to go. I think it's unfortunate that this season happened in the sense that Ronaldo is still hanging around. They should have let him leave. Joel Glazer, hashtag Glazers out. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. But you should let him leave. Now you have to let him leave because it just doesn't fit in with the squad. United, it's sad to say, play a style that's more conducive to playing the Erik Ten Hag way without Ronaldo. So let him go, cancel his contract. Like, hey, it's been rad. and let's bring in a replacement. That's my concern. I do believe they'll finally let him leave because, like, I think that's pretty evident. It's just not working out right now. But will they bring in a replacement? I'm not that confident. I know this team. I know these owners. I know this front office. And I know what they said, which is we ahead of schedule. We ahead of schedule.
No, I know. So then the main thing for me is you got to get a replacement if he goes. Now, what we're going to see is seen this movie before.
Cheap and good.
Odie and Ighalo.
No, who's the guy at Bayern? 33 years old.
No, Choupo-Moting. But like you're going to get why is Ighalo playing for Manchester United? Why is Cavani playing for Manchester United?
Cheap.
Why is Choupo-Moting playing for Manchester United? Cheap. They're cheap. So you're going to get something like that. Ronaldo leave. And what does that tell you? Does it tell you we're in a great position that we're going to be leading the league? To say we're like competing for the top talent in Europe? Like, think of our striking options in the past. Berba, Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo. We got Gapco. PSG says he ain't for sale. A lot of people saying, oh, we're going to get Cody Gapco. PSV. Nope. Not PSG. PSV. Nope. Not for sale. So then Choupo-Moting, that's the only other name we know. And why would you sign Choupo-Moting if you're Manchester United? Is because you're broke.
Because you're broke and you don't want to spend money and you don't want to go for Sesko or Nuku. You want someone who's 33 and the last year of their contract has like a year left, maybe. Who knows if he can play in the fucking Premier League, right? How did he do with Stoke? Not great. Obviously, he's playing well with Bayern. They're Bayern. But that's just it. That tells you everything you need to know about this family that runs this club, about their ambitions, because they're seeing something. There is something cooking at Manchester United with Erik ten Hag and the players he's brought in, the most he's gotten out of the players that have already here, and the fact that they're going to be like, yeah, we'll sign you like a washed-up striker again, fucking again. Still haven't replaced Lukaku. It's the third time now, right? Like you said, Ighalo, Cavani, Choupo-Moting. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on.
And it was Lukaku who left. And Lukaku, who we got paid money for.
4 years ago.
We lost money selling him, and we never replaced him with the money that we sold. You need a number 9. Like, it's insane. We've been doing these stopgap. And obviously, Ronaldo, you have to include in that because it should have been one and done.
Another good point. Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Ronaldo also fits that camp, right?
He does.
Over the hill, overpaid.
One good
free
year.
transfer.
One good year.
Right, he had a good year.
And then he wanted to leave. We didn't. And now we're on the next one. Speaking on the next one, Aaron Wan-Bissaka wants to go out on loan to Crystal Palace. Can't sell him. Bought him for $50 million. Can't sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka at all. And you're in another position here where we need a right back. And then we need a striker. So then who are we going to sign? Interesting times at Manchester United. I've never seen us need players more than we do now. Like, it's so... like. Last year, very clear we needed another midfielder. But you could argue Pogba has come back from injury, something like. But right now, it's like we need a right back. We need a striker. Dying for them, and if we need to make moves. Like if Aaron Wan-Bissaka can't sit on our roster and not play.
No, I totally agree. And if you're gonna just loan him to top 10 side, I'm kidding. If you're gonna loan him to a Palace, like it just doesn't make sense. Like you say, it's for $50 million. Obviously, that's sunk cost. We can't get that back. But if he's just holding up a squad, taking up wages, you gotta move him on in some capacity. These loan deals don't fucking work. They don't work. Like who do we loan this season?
We're the worst selling club in Europe.
Will work,
We're the worst selling club in Europe. We lose. All we do is lose money.
We're the worst run club in Europe, probably.
Like clearly, but the whole point here is, how do you go from buying him for $50 million and then it's like zero? I mean, like it's just crazy. It's absolutely like you're talking about like zero. Got to pay someone to take him. Like everyone is a zero. Pay someone to take him. It's like that's how like Tony Martial was like like the only reason Tony Martial is still on this roster is because he's a zero. We had to pay someone to take him. Like that's how nobody wants Tony Martial
at his wages.
We literally have to pay someone to take him off of our hands. That is our transfer strategy as far as like getting players out of the club. Now look, Tony found some life. You'd love to see it, but like the position on the club was like literally like we will pay you to take him off our hands. Speaking of paying to take someone off our hands, Pellistri apparently wants to leave. Another horrific signing in that Ed Woodward legacy. I like Facundo. Why isn't he involved in Europa League? Why can't we see him run out for 45 minutes? No idea, but apparently, if I were him, I'd want to go as well. He's looked good in preseason. I don't know why he can't get a 30-minute run out.
I mean, he got injured, as you remember that Atletico preseason game. I don't disagree. He deserves a run out, but he deserves to leave because we've managed him terribly, terribly. His loans have been awful. He thought he was going to get a position, didn't get it. He deserves to leave. Ahmad deserves to leave because at this point, we're just like a place that, by and large, especially in the pre-Erickson era, it's like a young up and coming. We'll ruin your career. It's like, come here, we'll fucking bottle your career because we have no idea how to manage it at all. No idea what they're doing. Glazer's out, Murtaugh out, Richard Arnold out. That's it. That's the end of the day. That's why, that's a product of just like the lack of forward thinking, of oversight, of continuity between front office and football and operations. And I'm sick of it, sir. I'm sick of it.
Well, what are we talking about? We're just talking about literally what you call it in the GM in American football, or football, like you said, or the director of football. Like, this is the person managing the roster, managing the contracts, managing the demand of the positions, looking forward, seeing, okay, this manager comes in, what don't you like? What do you like? And I would hopefully like to see an efficient process this summer, this January, about getting some of these names out and getting some more names in, because this should be a process for Manchester United to get back to the top of the land, which would include a striker, by the way. Jumping to fan questions at Ty Kircher. What can this team do if Martial stays fit? Garnacho gets a run of games in his confidence, and Marcus plays with this fire. What a fun second half that was. #Glazers out.
I mean, we talked about this in the last pod. Where was the deficiency? We need more goals. We need to have better defense. A bit of both, but it was definitely the goals when we looked at the top 10 in terms of the goals for and against. We needed a number 9. We thought Martial was going to be it. He's been injured the entire season. When he has played, he's looked great. But I have no confidence he's going to stay fit this season, even for like a month or two at a time. But Marcus is looking good. Unfortunately, we have like abundance on the left wing because Marcus is really good there. And now Garnacho looks like a type player that, honestly, he should be starting. He should be somewhere in the front three.
You can't run him down.
I agree, but like he should be an every other game kind of guy because he's a player. Exactly. Every other game. But that's
Sir, I've been beating the Garnacho drum since October. Apparently he did something, Eric Ten Hag. I don't know.
But you got to manage 18-year-olds, right? You can't have another like Greenwood situation. I don't know if you could have managed that out of him, but like you have to. All I'm saying is it's a difficult thing when the kid's got like the world at his feet. He's a player that's already getting paid decent money at a very young age. That's all I was trying to make was like the comp that you have to be very careful in his maturation and make sure he doesn't get ahead of himself. That's all I meant. Obviously, like I'm not calling him a Mason, but you know what I mean.
At JDW300, quote, Garnacho starts Sunday, period. Eriksson changed the game again as soon as it came on, per the usual. Looked absolutely lethal second half. Loved it. Not even mad at the OG Delo. Had no chance to not react. I do not want to see Donnie or Maguire on the field again, maybe ever. I don't think you will either. I think Donnie and the only thing I can think of is like we're trying to like put Donnie out there to sell him in January to like get some tape,
some cash,
get some film. People need to see Donnie out there to buy it.
Who's buying Donnie Van de Beek?
And he ain't looking good, so take him off.
I'll tell you what, there's not going to be a marker for him in the greatest league in the world, the English Premier League. Like, he has to go.
Speaking of paying someone to take him, like that's another player.
We lose money on that.
Every player we sign is not. It's just like
$40 million. That was the same window. The Donnie Van de Beek, Ahmad, Facundo, and I think we also got Cavani, who worked out because he was free.
What's amazing is like
unbelievable.
If you
bad
put
window.
You and me in charge of like
we do better.
We would do better. And that's what is that's.
And
like,
we're not qualified.
That is literally the craziest part about it is like you and me would actually be like with our finance background could actually like work with the budget, the money, like figure out what we have, like invest in youth, make sure the contract cliffs were coming off at the right time. We had depth at every position, selling players that don't fit the managers. Like, hire us, please, please. At Sabres Car Guy 9 quote, is Scotty McSauce our new number 9? First the bar, then that saucy goal. Let's go.
Hey, he used to be a number 9. If you remember correctly, he got moved to midfield, but he was a striker in his youth. Hey, he's an option. He's an option. Not that he should be our number 9, but he had a great goal, great ball.
All right, here at D_Cole18. Never been so happy to be immediately proven wrong about the mentality behind the squad. That said, Sancho plus 30 million for Heung-min Song. I would be on for that. Maguire once again showing why we're desperate to offload him, and Magoo and another 25 for Pooley. That's half our squad sorted for the next 5 years. Hire this man as director of football because that is right. We need Son as striker. Pooley. Oh, give us some options like the Pooley to United. It feels like
It always should have been.
he was a young. I mean, obviously United hasn't been a great place because of the manager turnover, but Chelsea even worse. And for some reason, like, how are the Glazers not buying the top American player and just minting that cash machine? I mean, like, it's just like even I would do it as the owner of Manchester
What did
United
you just
because you
say?
just know
They're
that it's
idiots.
just like
they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
you buy the top American player and it's just like you're just going to be
All
making
the
money
stadium.
hand
Yeah,
over
are you
fist.
crazy?
I mean,
totally
you know,
agree. Totally agree.
but Pooley is like joining Chelsea. Like he joined them with Abramovich as the owner. Like that doesn't send a good sign. You don't know what you're talking about. Then obviously, like he doesn't know about the manager turnover. He's fought every single manager he's been there. Hasn't been good for his career. Struggles to get playing time, and that hurts America for the World Cup. And now they got Graham Potter running the team. He's benching him. Conspiracy theory just to screw over the United States in that match. You know, it
Graham
goes
Potter's-
deep.
he's
Southgate
spiraling,
calling
bro.
Graham Potter bench him.
Graham Potter, he's spiraling, bro. He's like losing,
He's like bench
losing
him,
left,
run him
right.
hard in training, injure him before.
He's gonna move. I think he leaves by the end of next summer.
He can't go back to MLS. That's the only thing we
He
got.
probably will.
Okay, so last thing we got to talk about here is the United States men's national team World Cup takeover. We're gonna get the pod out next week, but the roster was released here this past week, and it's a very interesting one. Some controversy here. We're just gonna go through it at a high level, and then our buddy Mike, who has ties. He's an insider to the U.S. men's national team. Number one fan. If you ever met anyone, he's like number one U.S. men's national team fan. He can break it all down. Goalkeepers for the U.S. men's national team World Cup roster: Horvath, Johnson, Turner. The big one is Stefan did not get selected. Berghofer kind of punting the ex-City keeper who bottled the, I believe, the FA Cup final. Look, Turner's the number one from Jersey. You love that jersey. Grit. Plays for Arsenal. Apparently didn't play goalie till he was 16.
Incredible.
Can you believe that? And that's that Jersey grit right there.
Never count us out. Keep going. Who else you got?
Defenders, Carter Vickers, Dest, Long, Moore, Ream, Robinson, Scaly, Zimmerman, Yedlin. Aaron Long,
He's not good.
not a great he's like Harry.
good.
He's like Harry Magoo minus
Harry
for
Maguire's
like
a much
the
better
New York
player.
Red
Harry
Bulls.
Maguire's
Like,
a much better player than Aaron Long.
he's got a 30 million pound defender haircut and got none of the game. The real one for me is John Brooks, World Cup experience, plays in Europe, great player. Scored the header winner against Ghana, the game we were at in Natal, Brazil. You need a leader, you need a veteran on the back line, and Berghofer just has beef with him, so he's out. And to me, the only player going who played in that World Cup is Yedlin, and Yedlin was like a sub. You have nobody who is like a vet who like scored goals, have been there, can lead the line, can give the lads confidence. I just think it's a huge miss from Berghofer. Maybe he's threatened by him because he doesn't buy into his bullshit. I don't know. This has Berghofer bias all over it. And what do you expect? You saw the same thing with Bruce Arenas when we bottled qualifying 4 years ago. MLS heavy, biased manager. But, when it comes to John Brooks, he's actually German. He's not he's not American, speaks German.
Germans are pretty good at football.
Yeah, but he's good at football. So, and that comes from the, Klinsmann, hey, wherever you are, if you're an American citizen, I'll take you. And I just want the best players. And he brought in a lot of German players because American has a military base there. There's a lot of Germans with U.S. citizenship he could pull from. And that worked really well getting out of the group of death in Brazil. But apparently, Berghofer, no go. Midfielders, Aronson, Acosta, Adams, Luca Del La Torre, McKennie, Musa, and Roldan. These, I think, are great. We're stacked at midfield. It's really the defense I'm a little worried about because we don't have that vet there. And the forwards, Pulisic, Ferreira, Morris, Reyna, Sargent, Tim Way, and Haji Wright. Pepe's not included in the forwards. He scored 3 goals.
No Pfog.
No Pfog is playing well. He scored 27 goals for Young Boys last season. again, doesn't get along with Berkheffer. So Jordan Morris, who's off double knee surgery, only scored 7 goals in 30 matches for the Seattle Sounders, somehow doesn't play well and gets a call-up. He probably won't see the field, but why are you bringing this body? And then why is every single controversial pick automatically an MLS player? I don't understand.
I understand.
Well,
I understand.
Obviously, there is a huge U.S. soccer there's a lot of MLS in the running of how U.S. soccer is run, and obviously for commercial reasons, Jordan Morris is a big name, and that's probably why he's in it. There's a lot more behind
Jordan
this.
Morris is a big name. Who the fuck has ever heard Jordan Morris in Europe?
In the MLS.
Yeah,
So
the
like,
MLS is a big
so the MLS always is fighting to get more players in because that is commercial revenue for the MLS. And there's a lot, if you look at the board of U.S. Soccer, MLS is heavy in control of it. The reason why Berkheffer got the job, who has a losing record and has never managed anyone, is because his brother was
COO
of
MLS.
and that's how he ends up getting the job, despite being a bad coach.
He's
We
a
didn't
bad
really
coach.
do well in qualifying for the roster that we have. Got beat out by Canada despite having this amazing, probably the best team we've ever had. And, he gets the job. And the answer is he gets to pick the team. And by the way, you see a lot of that corporate tint here. You have to be bringing those 3 players. You got to be bringing Pefok, Brooks, and Pepe. You have to. And weird decisions not to.
Wrapping this up, because we're going to talk about it at length next week. You want to get an insight into how corrupt USA Soccer is? Watch the FIFA documentary that just blasted on Netflix, and like who's running USA Soccer in relation to CONCACAF, and that just gives you an idea of like how corrupt the whole game is. Sorry, MLS and USA Soccer are hand in glove. We will suffer as long as that relationship continues, because at the end of the day, MLS, it's a feeder club. It's a feeder league. It's like you start at MLS and then you go to Europe. It's not the other way around. I do think that will happen to Pooley, unfortunately. But speaking of, like, we need players that have been at the World Cup and played at it. Brooks, I think, was a really good point. Our manager hasn't. Our manager's a nobody. He is not qualified for the job. We should have won the group. Barely did, and he's going to get humbled because this is the type of squad you pick when you have no fucking clue what you're doing. So,
but you need and that's the only player for me that like kind of
Jordan Morris, sorry, is preposterous. It's
but there's always going to be one. Here's the thing: there's always going to be one preposterous, and Jordan Morris is the preposterous one, and that's fine. But for me, as a coach, there's a player, a vet who's been there in the big games, group of death, gets out, great player, and he can lead the back line for you, settle it down, and you're not bringing him. That is a ballsy move. That's
doesn't like him. He hasn't rated him for
years. That's the
right?
one, yeah. But that's the one that says, like, been there, probably should be your captain, should be the guy to lead the line every game and reassure the players out there that we got this. And Berkheffer's like, I am saying no to that. And that is to me, I think you need that at a World Cup. You need the old vets. You need the young pups. We got all young pups, and that usually means we get smoked, and then we're going to win it in 26. But who knows? We can complain about the roster, and once it kicks off, I'm all in, baby. And we got a hell of a good team. Look at that midfield. Look at those forwards. I mean, Reyna's healthy. Pulley, Adams, like Musa. We got a solid team. We have an absolute solid team. So the problem is the variability is high. We could lose every game. We could win every game. It's just like, who knows where we're going to come out.
A lot to play for, sir. Either way, it's going to be a big test for these lads. For Borheffer. He is a Borheffer. Sorry, he doesn't deserve to get his name correct. He shouldn't have gotten the job. But we're rooting for the USA. I think that's well said. It's like we could win them all. We could lose them all. I'm not confident we're going to win them all. But that test, Wales, 21st of November. It is 10 fucking days away. It's going to be a big test for his manager. And I'll tell you what, Borheffer, one piece of advice: do not go for a pre-match run in that that Doha heat. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, so
go around the treadmill, bro.
So on the pod, we will be getting you a preview pod next week. Then we'll break down the matches after for the U.S. men's national team takeover, and obviously do the best job we can getting a pod out when we're traveling there, because I think we're like literally England, USA, and then we're flying So, and then it's going to be like time change. We're going to be screwed. So we'll try to get you as many pods on the U.S. men's national team as possible. But we're going to the World Cup, switching to the World Cup. Can't wait. Absolutely buzz and stir. Give us our top $10 last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Jayberg, Johannesburg, South Africa, Plymouth, UK, Lando Lakes, Florida. Wow, I didn't know that existed.
Is that the butter?
Yeah, maybe. I love that butter. Number 4, Cork, Ireland, London, England, Ankeny, Iowa, Washington, New Jersey, Los Angeles, California, Dallas, Texas, and last but not least, New Albany, OH. We also got Nairobi on the list, Oslo, Meritas. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week
What's
out.
the city emeritus?
You tell me. Grand Riviere Noir. So
Yeah,
he used to be
good
French,
job.
this guy. From
Good
the
job.
Azores.
Good
I'm
job,
French. Let's hear that.
Hey, World Cup around the corner. One last game, one last push. Let's go. Everyone have a great end of their week.
Russian